Here, let me turn this off. So you're going to be doing the audio?
So I've tried muting this one up here, and for some reason, it's not letting me.
Well, do you want to just play it loud so we can hear, or can you mute it and then have the audio play through?
So I am muted. I'm picking up off yours. That's what this is, and that's what I'm trying to figure out how to mute because it just isn't.
Oh.
To the speech, but instead President Biden just talked about how he thinks the key to saving democracy is younger Democrats.
Nothing.
Hello? Nothing? You hearing me this time? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Well, it is 4:32 p.m., so calling this meeting to order of the Madison College Student Senate General Assembly at 4:32 p.m. Now we can go to our opening script. So before we begin, let me just say welcome to our General Assembly meeting. This is a public meeting. It'll be recorded for transparency and record-keeping purposes. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. To the senators and any other staff or visitors, guests online, if you're able, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting. Use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote. As chair, I'll do my best to call on committee members in the order in which hands are raised. Lowering your hand will take you out of the queue. At this point, that is all for the opening script. We're ready to move on to our roll call. VP Tao. Sure, and I'll mute.
Roll call starting now. Executive Council President Brito.
Yeah, I'm here.
Vice President of Administration and Finance Tom. Present. Vice President of Legislative Affairs Hashmi.
He's excused.
Vice President of Team Development Salifo.
Present.
Vice President of Public Relations Nikosha.
Present.
Present. Advisor Cole.
Present.
Senators from Traps Campus. Senator Avila. Senator Stira Brunner. Senator Kamara.
Present.
Senator Jacobson.
Present.
Senator Juf.
Present.
Senator Oviedo.
Not absent.
Senator Tinoco.
Absent.
Senator Wilkin.
Present.
Move to senators from regional and metro campuses. Portage Senator Crowther.
Present.
Present. Reedsburg Senator Stacy Brunner.
Present.
Fort Atkinson Senator Dirks.
He's excused.
Goodman South Senator Pesanek. quorum.
Perfect. At this point, because we have quorum, we can move on. Approval of the previous meeting minutes. They weren't sent out in the chat, but we could just like My bad. Sorry, I'm not used to this digital meeting. Thanks for typing that out. So I do see everyone, but gotta get used to muting and unmuting. This is like 2020 all over again. Are you here? Can you hear me? This is a digital seance. Yeah, can you pull that up, Cole, please? Okay, I promise we'll get to y'all. We had an inconvenience where they're doing like a, I don't know, like a technology upgrade in the other room. So we got relegated to this room, which doesn't have the same capabilities and we're not as familiar with it. So please bear with us. Sorry to our guests for having to deal with this. But if you just go to the last page, everything as usual, those are reports. So, you know, the individual person can do it on their own about their stuff. But typically, we just covered the NACA Leadership Conference. Me and Nohaya did an overview of our DIA to improve food security on campus. If you want to read more, you can read the PowerPoint, which is in the SharePoint. The Madison College is going through a presidential search, and it's Gold Hill Associates is the one that's doing it. You can read more about what's on the list and how Student Senate and student life is integrated and how the president will support not only that, but also shared governance. That is, you know, public information and knowledge. I serve on the Presidential Search Committee, and I'm not allowed to say anything that's not open to the public, just letting you know that it's under NDA discussion. So, and then any of the announcements. So, yep, Ellen, we went over the 3-year plan, which we're going to become more and more familiar with. And that's why we invited our regional campus managers here today to talk about how we can help them out with their 3-year plan. So, yep, that's everything. If everyone's good with that, then I'll take a motion to approve the meeting minutes. Yep. So, yep, motion made by Senator Bissonnette. Do we have a second? I think I saw Senator Juf first. So, yep, motion made by Senator Bissonnette, second by Juf. If you know, all those in favor, let's just say aye at this point today. We're all for it. Aye. Yes. Hand raises.
Aye.
Stuff like that. And then you don't have to raise your hands.
Aye.
Okay. Yep. Okay. By majority, I feel like I see it. Any opposed? Seeing none. No abstentions. Not hearing any of you. So, okay, thanks, Angel. So with that, the motion passes, minutes approved. Let's pull up the agenda real quick. So agenda was sent out to everyone, and it's standard agenda, except the only difference is that in our public comments is the regional campus managers that are here today as our honored guests, as well as Peng Zhang from the Programs and Activities Council. So you'll see that in the public comments section. If you scroll down to the business section, everything else is the same as our standard boilerplate tempo. We're going to be doing a review of the attendance sheet again, just to see how you all did. We're talking about committee assignments, which I sent in the email this morning, WSG presentation, and then we'll be doing a survey for our in-person training date. So that's all to the agenda. If everyone's okay with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Yeah, motion made by Senator Bissonnette again, second by Annette. You don't need to raise your hands. Annette, keep your hand on that steering wheel. So, okay, but we'll take her second for that. So thank you. Motion vote by unanimous approval. If no one's opposed, then we'll pass it. So is anyone opposed to passing the agenda? I don't see any hand raises. So that means that in 3, 2, 1. Okay, agenda approved. So at this point, we can move on to our public comments. So for our regional campus managers, thank you to those of you that could come today. We did send you some questions. We framed it around our 3-year plan and how we hope to, you know, work together with you all. One thing I'll mention is that, you know, I've been working with Tara Basu over at the Fort Atkinson campus, and she's really interested in potentially creating a shared governance council for for regional campuses. So that's one idea where Senate could support regional campuses. That's not fully in motion yet. It's not even fully developed, but it's just an idea, and also just, attending some of your events and just knowing more about what's going on in your campuses. So without further ado, I can pass it on to you all. Who wants to go first? Sorry, is there any of them in the chat right now? I was gonna say, I thought I saw Linda there. Oh, and Wistria's here too. Hello, Wistria. Yeah, Linda, if you would like to go first and just kind of take over, I'll mute. Hi, Wistria. Okay, Linda, why don't you, test that out, and maybe Pang should go first just to keep since she's here, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So thank you for having me here. I just wanted to say, so in my 1 year, 9 months in this role, PAC, I'll just talk. So for those who don't know me, my name is Pang Zhang, and I am a program advisor for Programs Activities Council. I support all of our campuses pretty much here at Truax, Goodman South campus, all of our northern, and then also our eastern, and then sometimes at commercial as well. And then I also support our Wolfpack Den as well. So I would have to, just quickly say I'm first off very proud of PAC trying to, in this time that I've been in this role, to host at least once a month event at each of our regional campuses. We're very appreciative of all the support that we've gotten from all of our campus managers, and also their staff as well too, for supporting and just really helping us to promote our events on campus for our students. And we're also very appreciative of the support from the faculty there as well too, who also allow their classrooms to take breaks to just come and hang out with us, whether if it's 20-30 minutes in between, their classroom breaks. We've really appreciated that a lot. And then we've also, I guess I wanted to quickly share, we've been able to successfully have a Northern Region representative last academic year. And then hopefully with additional recommendations from our Reedsburg campus as well too. I made a few connections before a couple weeks ago when I was on campus there, and hopefully we can secure a couple of our students to represent our Northern region as well. And then we are working on getting Eastern representatives as well too. I guess I want to just quickly share within the PAC programming, typically we've noticed our numbers have increased as well too, but a typical number that we would get, it's looking around 20 to 40 students at each of the campuses. Portage is definitely a lot smaller is what we've noticed. But one thing that we want to work on is providing more online opportunities. I know that is something that we haven't done yet. But ideas that students have been thinking about as they've written their lovely ideas behind me here, but financial workshops was one thing that came up, or an educational workshop focusing on academic success strategies. I know counseling, connecting with our counseling department was one thing that also came up with as well, doing something focusing on whether if it's time management or mental health wellness around that topic. And then virtual bingo was some of those other options that came up for online opportunities as well. So those are a few things that we would like to work on for this upcoming year, along with other things that students were really ambitious about as well too. I guess one thing I do want to share now that we do have the dates secured at each of our regional campuses as well too, are the campus fun days. So I definitely think that is something that our student senate, I know previously you've all helped and have been there with us as well too. So if that can be a continued, support, that would be really awesome. And then most likely, I'll share this information with your advisor as well too. But just quickly here, Reedsburg would be set on Monday, September the 9th from 10:30 to 12:30. And then at Fort Atkinson, right now it's set for Wednesday, September the 18th, 10:30 to 12:30. Watertown is for Wednesday, September the 11th from 10:30 to 1. And then Portage is on Tuesday, September the 10th from 10:30 to 12:30 as well. So those are just a few things that are coming up right now as that I can think about. But like I said, a lot of our PAC programmings, I mean, that's really student ideas. So that also fluctuates as well too. But I really do hope that we can connect and do more, things on campus at the regionals. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to share for now that I can think of. So yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think I hear
Linda.
you.
Yep, we can hear you, Linda.
Okay, sounds good. I'll mute again until you're done. I don't know exactly what I did. But I'm here when you're ready for me.
Yeah. And Kai, I think that's all I have to report on, Kai.
Yeah. So,
So-
okay, Linda, I think we're just gonna ask a few questions to Pang and see if we can, just understand, where do you think we could help you with that? Because it sounds like, yeah, don't worry. I think Angel, Pang's gonna send it in an email
Yes.
to Cole and he'll distribute it to us, so that we can put it in our calendars and just find ways to collaborate with that. So like last year, how did it work? Like, how does transportation work with that? Because like, I think it is very hard to ask people that live in a certain area to get here. Because last year I didn't have a car. I had to bus to campus.
Yeah.
That's changed for me, but like getting to the other campuses, like that's gas, and like that, which gas means money for people.
Yeah.
So is there like transportation set up, and how do we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, Kai. I know, so for example, because our PAC students, I mean, they are from that area, so they usually just meet me there. I not so sure entirely how Student Senate had planned on, organizing coming to the Campus Fun Day at the regionals, to be honest with you. But from what I've seen is, carpooling. I can check in about, what a mileage reimbursement is, that, something that we can do, right? Um, or gas cards. But yeah, so I don't know how they've organized it in the past. So yeah, but those are just some thoughts that came to my mind.
So last year there was no transportation provided by PAC to do it? Because how do you get there? Do you drive your own personal vehicle, or do you drive a
Yep.
school van?
Yeah, no, I drive my own personal vehicle.
Are
Yep.
you reimbursed?
So then I will do mileage reimbursement. Yes.
Does PAC have any, do you have any requests to have like your student helpers go? Because I think last year there was a few students of yours that don't have cars. So how did they get there? Did you
Yeah.
just get them yourself?
So Kai, like I said, our PAC representatives, they are from those areas. So like Jeanette, she lived in, Baraboo. So we met just at Reedsburg, for example. So a lot of my representatives, they live in those areas. So when I'm looking for the Eastern as well too, that is one of the requirements is they have to be, living within that area or, going to that campus. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, Annette, you can ask your question.
I was just gonna mention, I wonder if it's possible for the athletic vans to get used. We just have to put in a request ahead of time.
That's another, yep, that's a good call too, Annette. Yeah, I think they did mention something like that. I haven't done it before, so I don't know what the process is, but
It's
yeah.
pretty simple, and the only thing we have to cover is the gas. So, and that gets charged to our account because they have a gas card attached to it.
Mhm. And like you all know, right, our regional budget, that's not a huge budget. So, because our students are paying $3.25 per credit. And so I'm just also throwing that out there as well too.
Are you saying for the student activities fee?
Yep. Student activities fee, but when we also approved our student activities, the budgets, that wasn't a huge, budget in comparison to what we have. So I just want to make a point on that because, that's where we can also collaborate on too is, on financials for upcoming events. If we can collaborate on things like that, I think that might be helpful.
No, definitely this year, I think one of the, charges of Senate is certainly to look at how to more equitably account for our regional campuses, and finances is one way to do that. We have a student activities fee where we collect all the money from. So I feel like, yeah, we can definitely up the finances specifically for PAC. And I feel like that's going to be a big discussion upcoming in the SAB about reallocating the budget to be more fairly distributed towards these types of things. That's kind of what the whole thing is this year. How do we make the budget fairly represent the interests of students at all the campuses? And are you getting your fair shares worth of what you're investing? That's a question. So don't worry, Pang, we'll see each other for sure. Well, whether that be on regional campuses or here in this building talking about spreadsheets. So there
Yep.
we are. Anyone else have any questions before I launch into my soapbox speech? Okay, I'm not hearing anything else, but Pang, I feel like in my mind where it goes at is that one of the things that's happening is that there's talk of creating a shared governance council, specifically related to campus, like regional campuses. Is that something you'd be interested in? Like, do you have time capacity to potentially be interested in that?
I would have to think about that, Kai, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Just because I know I know that there's just been a couple of different requests from different departments as well too for committees, and so so I will have to think about it.
Okay, yep. Just wanted to try and start off that conversation with you and just kind of put it forth your way, because I think it'd be a nice way to plan about all these things. But just keep in mind that I'll keep in touch with you about the budget, and we should figure out how much how much are students at these campuses paying in, and how much are they really getting out, and is it equitable? So that's just all. That's all you got from me, and just knowing that we're gonna try and make ourselves available and see if we can carpool and find ways to get people there to help out and just show up, because I think that's the name of the game there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think that is definitely something that I can work with Cole on for transportation. Okay, does that sound like a good idea?
Perfect. Thank you, Peng. Okay, Linda, I think you're up next. If I didn't think anyone else had a question, so thank you so much, Peng. You can stick around if you want to, and maybe you can all, yeah. So that might be good. Linda, yeah, all you. I'll mute myself now.
Hi, thank you for having me. I see Callie's on here now too. She's the campus manager in Portage. I'm the campus manager in Reedsburg. I've been at the Reedsburg campus for over 20 years in various roles, and I've been the campus manager for almost 10 years, I think, nine-ish, something like that. So
Hi.
hi, Callie. I think she's in the car.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so a little bit about our population. We have the associate degree nursing program at Reedsburg. We have all four semesters, first, second, third, and fourth. So they're a big part of our student population. We also have a lot of students that start in Reedsburg, stay closer to home, take general credits, and then transfer to Truax. Um, Paying, I applaud everything you've done with our regional students and campuses. You've been absolutely amazing, coming up with a lot of really interactive activities, but also being completely aware that, you can't be there one day for 2 hours and reach every student. A lot of our students are part-time, and many are parents. So they always appreciate any leftovers from your group, and they love it when you're on campus. You're wonderful. Um, what else? What else do you want to know about Reedsburg?
What programs of study like do
So the
people
nursing program.
what are the big ones that people are like, what are they studying there and what's useful to like your community? Because I just went to Northwood Technical College, and one of the things that they were really big on is that they have a mobile welding van. So they can do demonstrations, like they can go to places to teach welding, or they can have them come to them. So it's like there's options now. You can do little like 8 to 12 person classes in welding. They have the capacity to do that. Do you have
Mhm.
something like unique to the Reedsburg campus like that?
So no, we have the nursing program. So that's really our full program. So we have, similar to Truex, we have the simulation center. So we have 4 sim rooms. We are getting in on August 12th, we're getting an ambulance simulator, which is exciting. We also have EMT. We have a full cohort of EMT students every semester. In fact, we have a wait list right now for fall semester. So those are really our we CNA, which program class, I kind of depends what you want to call it. So really a lot of ours is healthcare related. Our sciences are very strong because of our nursing program, but also a lot of students will start taking their sciences before they have to transfer to a program at Truex, because obviously we don't offer, if you don't want to be a nurse, you can't finish in Reedsburg unless you do a lot of virtual classes, which generally our students don't want to do. As far as like our community goes, no, I have seen those too. We do visit the campus managers. We meet twice a year at other technical colleges with other campus managers. It's always nice to see their facilities. And of course, it makes you come up with a wish list of things that we'd want. We have seen traveling, different traveling, buses, trucks, whatever you want to call it. We do use welding space at our high school. We have continuing ed classes. Otherwise, Portage is much stronger in that area, and I can let Callie speak to that as far as what they offer in the Portage Enterprise Center. But primarily, we are kind of a healthcare center of excellence, is what we're known as. We're hoping in the next few years, since we're getting the ambulance simulator, it'd be great to have paramedic. We'd of course love to have the PN program back. But then also we have a strong focus on our our general liberal arts transfer classes that students definitely like to take and will often take to, if not Truex, to other UW system schools.
Yeah, thank you for that additional context. I think Annette has a direct follow-up because that hand went up so quick.
I live in the Baraboo area, so I'm familiar with the Baraboo, Reedsburg, etc. area. And I'm just wondering, has there been any talk or discussion reference to like adding the ALDA program to the area? Because I know that we have such a need and such a shortage of human services, which has the embedded addiction studies diploma within the program.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, not that I know of, that's a great suggestion. And I'll tell you, as you hear things living in our community, that's what we need to hear, right? We need to hear from our surrounding communities and rural areas, because our needs are very different than Dane County. So that's something that we could definitely bring to the table.
That would be wonderful. Thank
Yes,
you.
you bet.
And I would just add to that too, one of the things that Linda and I, when we're talking with the associate deans of the different schools, is are there classes or ways that we could bring maybe even just like the first couple classes of those programs to the regional campuses to have those face to face. So then that way a student gets that face-to-face interaction, and then maybe after that they do have to go to Truax to finish the rest of the program or do the rest of the program online. But that would at least allow them just that initial like taste of some of those classes. And Intro to Human Services is definitely something in the Portage area I know that is a great kind of a general class to see if people are interested in that field or learning more about that. And then maybe even working with like our high schools to have those students, maybe the early college students taking those classes maybe on our campuses too. So it's
Yes.
definitely something that we've had conversations about in the past. I just don't think we've really been focusing on getting enrollments into the classes we have. And so it's hard now that those courses are stronger again. I think we have more of a case to bring in some of these other intro classes to our campuses.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And we certainly know the value and we speak about it frequently, how important it is to offer, whether it's like Kelly said, the first couple classes or the first year, the first semester of different programs. So students don't have to carry that weight of traveling for their whole 2-year to get their associate's degree or whatever it is they're working for. It's expensive. Reedsburg's the farthest campus from Truax, and it's a good 60 minutes if you're in Reedsburg, not outside of Reedsburg. So certainly it's something that we're working on regularly. So we love suggestions like this. Keep bringing them to us.
Yeah, Annette, did you have a follow-up or is your hand still up from before?
It's a follow-up, of course. Sorry.
Go for it.
And I was funny she would bring up high schools, but I was wondering what type of services are offered in the neighboring high schools right now. And I don't know if Sauk Prairie should be counted in that or not, but I know that I'd seen something about a coding program or something that they were partnering with Madison College on. And I think it was something in the health field. So not that the coding as far as data. I just don't remember. It was like a year or so ago. But I also wanted to, I guess, find out if that endeavor has started at all or how it's going.
Mm-hmm. So we offer dual credit classes with our surrounding high schools. That goes through we certainly are a part of those conversations, but we don't plan that. That's like Audra Cook on her team kind of take care of that. But and then also, early college, we offer classes. High school students can come to our campus and take classes. But as far as Sauk goes, yes, they did put a CNA lab in their high school, and Madison College faculty teach those the CNA classes, which is, it's so nice when high school students are so busy and after school is often very challenging if they're in anything extracurricular to get to our campuses for class. So we used to rent a space in Sauk, and once that had kind of gone away, we put a space in their high school. So it's a great advantage for those students to be able to take that class during the day while they're at school.
Okay, seems like a logical conclusion to that conversation there. I guess from hearing all the ideas that y'all been presenting, I feel like there's two issues that kind of jump out to me. One is the fact that, you're going to regional campuses, but it seems like a majority of those classes that are offered are online. And it sounded like you mentioned how those people really liked taking classes in person in their own community. But like, what's the point of having a regional campus if like a majority of those classes, if half or more of those classes are being offered online, then what's the point of having regional campus to begin with? So what is why would you invest in that? The other thing is like partnerships with high school. I went to Fort Atkinson High School, which the campus is like literally right next to each other, right next to a giant wind turbine too. And that was also another issue for another day. But obviously got passed and stuff like that. But like, we should be building those partnerships. But I heard that, it's kind of been limited because they want to form partnerships with MMSD first, but we already have that. We have STEM Academy, right? So like we could be creating some of that at these other campuses. Like I just want to hear what your opinions are on creating those, regional partnerships with local area high schools. Because not like, Madison College doesn't have that with STEM Academy. So I don't know, just answer however you want with that. It's a big question.
Linda, I can maybe talk a little bit to that. Actually, Kai, just today I was at the Fort Atkinson High School. I'm the campus manager for both the Fort Atkinson campus now, as well as I've been the campus manager for the Portage campus for the past almost 30 years now. And so those are really great questions. And honestly, Kai, those are questions that we ask to administration at the college all the time from a regional standpoint. The classes that
I think we're having trouble hearing you, Callie. I think you're breaking up.
She's traveling home from Fort, so that's why she's probably in a bad area.
Oh, don't worry. I know that since being from Fort. She's probably taking that bypass.
Callie, can you hear us?
Do you want to talk to the question? And then I'm sure that when you're done, she'll probably be back in a better spot.
Sure. I'm sorry, I just stepped away for a minute. I'm not sure. I know she met with Fort today. We do partner with our local schools. We try to engage them as much as we can. We really want to be partners with them. There's always different conversations of their needs, and certainly every community is a little bit different. Waniwak, I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It's a small town about a half an hour outside of Reedsburg, very rural. They were actually the first school to put in a CNA lab, so their students didn't have to drive. But and they work with dual credit folks and early college and all sorts of different departments, and we are sort of the kind of the middleman when it comes to that, sharing what they're asking for and what their needs are. But that is working with the schools is one of our top priorities.
Yeah,
sorry about that, everyone. There's a big detour on my way, and so I am on some back roads that I was like, oh, I'm not. With what I was saying, like that's just a big part of our job is working with those schools to help keep them knowledgeable about what our students are needing and what they're wanting. And so I think that that's just it can be challenging, honestly. Like there's a lot of back and forth that goes into what we're hearing our schools want, what we're hearing our students want, and based on budgets and based on just all of the things what the schools from Madison College schools, those programs can provide to us just based on those things. So we would love to see more classes, more programs in our areas. I can maybe talk a little bit.
I think you're breaking up again, so we'll have to put a hold on that. Annette, so does anyone else have any other questions based on what you've heard? It's pretty much just me and Annette asking questions, firing off left and right. If anyone else has a question, now's your chance because we're hitting up on the end here. No one else has a question? Callie, are you back? You want to finish that? And then Annette, you can ask your question. Maybe you can have some final thoughts, everyone. I think that sounds good. Callie, are you back?
Sure. I'm sorry about that, everyone. But they also have a practical nursing program in Fort Atkinson now, which is new to that campus. This is probably our third semester doing that. And then in Portage, we have primarily a manufacturing focus, and then some of those pre-health science classes are also a big part of our curriculum in Portage. So sorry about that, everyone.
No worries. Thank you. Annette, being the Portage senator, go ahead and ask the final question, and then Callie and
So I had,
Linda can answer that question for you.
okay, so one question I had about the Portage campus is I was wondering, is there going to be, are there plans for a welding program to get put in at that campus? I know that it's doing mostly manufacturing, but I've only heard about welding being available in Madison and all the way over in, not all the way over, but in Fort Atkinson, I believe it is. And then the other question I had, I just want to get them both out at the same time, is do we have any partnerships that are being developed with our tribal, with the tribe in this area with Ho Chunk Nation?
Sure. As far as the welding goes, we currently are offering the gas metal arc welding technical diploma, which is a 1 semester 9 credit course that students can take. And that's actually some of the classes that are part of the welding 1-year program, diploma program. And so it's kind of nice. People can get started on that in Portage, and then the second semester they can go to Madison and complete the rest of the requirements for that program there. So we're looking at, that's been a great option. We've had quite a few people take advantage of that. Usually our cap is at 10 just due to space availability there, but we've had, I would say, 7 to 8 students every semester so far. And I think we'll get to that again at least this next fall. And then the other,
just so you know, I don't think that information is being simulated for like the reason why I brought it up specifically is that I have a child that's going into welding this semester, next semester, and we received information when he went in that there was only welding classes at Truex and at Fort. And I'm like, gosh, I thought we had something maybe going on at Portage, but there wasn't even mention of the technical diploma that's available, just so you're aware.
all right, well, that's good to know. I think we'll need to work with our advising partners on that to make sure that they're made aware of that and with the programs as well. But yeah, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think for our last question, we're going to have Sierra and Stacy, or just maybe Stacy ask that, just to round it off, since she's a regional senator and, you know, want to have her voice heard. And then Cole's going to round us off with some final words. Sound good? Go for it, Stacy, or Sierra. I don't know who's on there.
Room 201. Yeah, I was just wondering when you think you'd be maybe going up for the to try to get more classes at Reedsburg for like people who just starting out, so that way, you know, we have kind of like an idea going forward, because I think that would be like a great idea for it not just be for the nursing.
Well, I can say that we are constantly in communication about what classes we would like, what we've heard from community, you know, our surrounding communities, and what they're saying they have a need for, and we then relay that to the schools. So that is a very, very regular conversation for us. I don't know, unfortunately. I don't know. You know, our numbers are definitely getting better since COVID. So I think as our numbers continue to grow and the enrollment is steady, I think we'll have a better case to get more classes and hopefully programs. But I mean, like I had mentioned earlier, you know, keep sharing ideas that you need. We will certainly take those to the people that we talk to. We want to have as many classes and programs as we can possibly have, because we have the capacity in our buildings to have more, that's for sure.
All right, so that is about the time that we do have. First and foremost, on behalf of Senate, Pang, Callie, Linda, thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate that. This really does kind of shed some light on the work we want to continue to do. I just want to close us out and letting you both, Callie and Linda, know I'll be in contact with both of you and Chelsea to continue this work that we can do to best support you all at the regional campuses, as well as make sure we get out there to, you know, really try to assist in any way we can, and to Pang as well. We look forward to working with PAC, the Campus Fun Days, and getting all that information out. If you all have anything that are arises that you're like, hey, Student Senate should probably know this, feel free to send it my way. We'll definitely get that information out, especially once the school year starts and we get our committees up and running. But thank you so much for being here. We do greatly appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you,
It was
everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Take care.
Yeah, really appreciated hearing your perspective. So we'll see how we can help out.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. That is the informational portion of our meeting. Let's move on. We can do disclosures and recusals. As always, we do disclosures and recusals. If anyone would like to disclose any partnerships, affiliations, associations, ownerships of anything regarding the business items up for discussion, again, that'll be the attendance sheet, WSG, and the Senate committee assignments, and the in-person training survey. I guess I should disclose, and I'll disclose on behalf of Annette, that we're officers of WSG. So there's nothing to vote on that we need to change any financially, but just to disclose that for the sake of getting to the habit of disclosing anything you might think is important. We also represent Madison College on behalf of WSG, so if there's a dual partnership there. But anyone else got anything? Not hearing anything, so we can move on. Moving on to the Executive Council and President's Report. I can make it quick. So for President's Report, we're just doing, for the presidential search, we're going through HR training. So that'll be set up hopefully next week before I leave to Kenya. That's coming soon. So I won't be here for our August 8th meeting. So get prepared. We'll have a super secret member of the Exec Council take over for that meeting. So it's anyone's guess who it'll be. Place your bets now. Except we don't condone gambling, so don't actually do that. But we're also planning for the in-person training, so that'll be coming up. So keep it. We're gonna be doing a survey later today, so just keep your eye out for that because it'll literally be in the meeting. We're getting Senate promotional materials ready for the Wolfpack Welcome. So Cole will be talking about signing up for Wolfpack Welcome. I'll be there as an orientation leader, and I think maybe Annette will be too. So yep, and then obviously Melina will be there taking over some of the Wolfpack stuff. We're also doing a budget tracking sheet. So, you know, Yilong and I and Cole, and honestly, all the exec team will be, as soon as we get that all set up, tracking that, we can do a mini presentation before the semester, or maybe as the semester starts, and talk about how far we've come with our budget tracking. And the last thing that we're going to cover is Senate appointments. That's the last thing that the exec council did together, figure out the Senate appointments, which we also will cover later on during this meeting. And that's everything for my report. Any questions? Don't see any questions. 816 Rise workshops. Okay, yep, definitely we'll do bring it up at the announcements at the end too, so no one forgets. Moving on, Administration and Finance Committee, BB Tal, got anything for us?
No report.
No report, okay. Legislative Affairs Committee, VP Hashmi, he's excused today. Team Development Committee, VP Salifu.
No report.
I knew you'd say that. You do have a report. You need to tell them about your your idea.
Oh, I think we talked about that last time, right?
Yeah, you're going to talk about it next meeting. I want you to preview it. Can you just tell them what you're going to do?
Okay. Oh, sorry about that noise. Okay.
No, I surprised you.
Okay, so when we went to NACA with Kyle last time, and when we were talking with like other clubs, they say that during the meeting they do sometimes some icebreaker, and that help help the members to be more concentrate and get more involved. So I talked with Kai to probably bring it to our General Assembly meeting, so that can be also a way to like connect with each other and also kind of like be more concentrated and be more involved, because the icebreaker after like a presentation is also helpful. So yeah, we decided to start like during our next assembly meeting, so the 8th of August, that will be the first with the icebreaker. It's sometimes like that can be sometimes like games or like some fun party about people or some bingo, I mean, just something like this, about like 5 to 10 minutes, just to like help us to distract a little bit and then come back to business.
Perfect. Yep. So keep your eyes out for that. The next meeting, we're going to do a little icebreaker so that we can just get to know each other a little bit more before our in-person trading and before we all start coming in person. Because just a little bit get to know each other. I think that's fun. It'll make these meetings a little bit more fun. So that's all. I won't make you public speak anymore. No, hi. I know you don't particularly enjoy that, so we can move
That's
on.
okay, don't worry.
Public Relations Committee, VP Magosha, do you got anything extra for us?
No, I don't really. I guess Cole's gonna also talk about the Wolfpack welcome. I also just wanted to mention that sign up sheet is still available for everybody to sign up. We would love if everyone could take part and volunteer at least one day. But I'm sure Cole will also get into this a bit.
Yep, and I'll just double plug this. I'll be there as an orientation leader, and I think Annette, you're going to be there too as an orientation leader. Is that the plan? Annette, yep. So we can't volunteer because we're going to be taking people to there, so we can do our best to try to talk about Senate. But like having a person dedicated to talk about Senate would be very good. So if anyone's up for it, I mean, I did it last year with previous Senator Kodiak Kessel, and we had a lot of fun. We even got the previous president come out, and Kodiak had fun banging the gavel. So if you want a chance to bang the gavel, this is your chance. You get to be acting president there, and I'll just be a bystander. So go ahead, represent Senate, and wield the power before you. Anyways, moving on to the advisory report, Cole.
Thank you very much. Turn my camera on. So just a couple things that I wanted to provide for y'all. First and foremost, like VP Magosha said and was backed by many folks, we do need individuals to continue to sign up to volunteer for the tabling. The tabling is not a massive commitment. You will get the hours for being there. And honestly, it helps us to recruit new members because we can take on new students to the institution per our bylaws. So please continue to sign up. If you are able to table for next Thursday, August 1st, if you don't have anything going on during the day, I believe that one is in the morning, but I will confirm to you all. Please let me know. Just put it in the chat. Send me an email. I'm going to continue to email everybody to sign up and volunteer. VP Magosha will also be in contact with you all because we do need individuals, at least one, to be there. And you will have support from myself, President Brito, Senator Crowder. I mean, everybody. We'll back you on that. So please. A reminder to you all that we do have interviews upcoming for the new position that's going to work with the executive leadership team. That is August 15th and 16th. The 15th is the primary day that they are looking to bring folks on campus to interview, but the 16th is one that they are reserving. Stipend update. I'm just reiterating, please submit your stipend paperwork, your self-assessment to me before 4:00 p.m. on August 8th, which is our next GA meeting, so that I can begin processing that. And we would like to get all of that done, situated. There's multiple signatures that need to take place so that we are able to get you your stipends for the summer. Again, failure to submit a stipend self-assessment to me before that deadline. So if it's anything after that deadline, you will not receive a stipend for the summer. So I really need that to be a priority. My last thing is if you can refer to the email I sent to you all on July 23rd, talking about the attendance policy. So one thing to know is that as we get into the school year, we are in need of understanding what is your mode of attendance for Senate. All officers are required to attend meetings in person unless there's extenuating circumstances like travel or other aspects like that are communicated ahead of time. All senators, though, are to submit to myself and President Brito, what is your modality of attending? Your choice is virtual or in person. It is has the ability to be changed as long as there is communication to President Brito and I in a timely manner. We're going to collect that strictly just through a poll. That will go into effect once we start hitting the school year meetings. We will talk about the leadership training day with Senate. This will take place most likely after that because that will happen during the time that we're looking to have a meeting, potentially having to go into cancel one of our meetings so that we have the attendance. And if you want to be like, where is this written? Go to your Senate bylaws, Article 4, Section 2, letter C. And again, this all comes from me in an email asking you to respond. I see a question from Senator Crowder.
Hi.
Hold on one second.
So, oh,
All
sorry.
right, go ahead.
Okay. So last year, I can't remember which one I chose, but my goal is always to attend in person. However, based on weather, based on how things are going to work with the additional family member that's going to be going to college and having to be there at 7 or 7:30 in the morning, it could go week by week. So do I choose virtual, and then when I can show up in person, which will, like I said, be whenever I can, because I really don't like virtual. If I didn't have a kid to pick up, I'd be there today.
No, not a problem. That's a valid question. So regional senators have the ability just to automatically default to being virtual. Like we can operate that as the default. If you would like to say, hey, I want to be in person, but obviously, like you mentioned, and that's a great example of extenuating circumstances that would, hey, probably inhibit you from being in person. Again, we just ask for just communication. That's really it. So we're willing to work with everybody on this, truthfully, because you're right. Once we hit winter, I'll be honest with you, I'm sure there's a lot of folks that don't want to try and come into campus because bad weather and freeway driving do not mix all the time. So go with what you think is going to work best for you. And again, my biggest thing I'll tell everybody is just communicate with us. And as long as you do, we're going to work with you on that. We just want to try and set a baseline per our bylaws just so that we are all in a strong spot. Senator Joof.
My question is, like you said, you sent emails, but I saw emails in regards to the stipend. What else email did you send?
Sure. So I'll look at the listserv. I've been sending it to the 2024-2025 Senator listserv that we have, but I sent an email before or after. It's one of those two. Same day on the 23rd that was in that discussed the attendance policy. So I will look to see if you received it. If
I did. I think I received the attendance policy too.
Okay, so those are the ones I'm referring to. I just wanted to cite that in there that I just had gotten that out to y'all because I'm not going to pull up the bylaws right now. But
yeah, and then for the hours, I want to ask the questions. Since it's the new senators doing the classes, are we going to put in hours because we don't have to take the classes?
I'm going to have to.
Yeah, you still have to do your hours.
Yes, so everybody has to complete their hours. The new, if I'm answering this correctly, the new senators, yes, that does count for their hours in completing those courses, but all returning senators, since they should theoretically have completed that Blackboard course ahead of time, hours still have to be made up for that. Is that answering your question?
You said the Blackboard what?
So I believe your question was in regards to new senators have to complete, excuse me, have to complete the new senator training through Blackboard, correct?
Right.
And so they do get to count that for their working hours because that has to be completed.
Right.
So is your question what,
No, I'm just asking for the old senators, like we already took that training.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So go ahead.
So we're not taking that. So should we put in hours or what?
No.
Oh, no, correct. Yes. Yeah, so you cannot document anything for those hours for any type of training, but yes, you still will log hours, or the new senators will still log those hours. So if a new senator is like, do I get to count this? And they're reaching out to folks, feel free to defer them to me or to President Brito, and we can coordinate that. But I hope that answers your question.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions for myself? Seeing none, I yield.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. We can move on then for reports from special and select committees. Student Activities Board, President Brito. This is a quick update. Well, hopefully quick. The first meeting of the summer reps is coming up next week, either on Tuesday or Thursday. So it's just going to be me. It's going to be Performing Arts Leadership. It's going to be United Common Ground, and it's going to be, I think it's actually a person from PAC, or no, Peer Health Educators. So those are the 4 people that were selected as summer reps. So at this time, we're going to have a discussion about what our strategy is leading into the fall. We're going to having a big discussion about the update to the SAB bylaws. So Last year, I think a lot of you did come to the meeting, but for those of you who didn't, there was a big discussion about, what would create more equitable and consistent funding outcomes. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so you all can see this. We ended up passing a resolution number 5, SAB Economic Program Funding Guidelines, to create a more, just a better budget approval process that's consistent between years to years. And this is when it was presented, and then it passed sometime thereafter, I believe on April 25th. Was the day. But basically the big issue is that we're using the student activities fees to fund academic programs. And I thought that that was not really fair, because then I'm like, well, why don't I just use student activities fee to fund all my accounting trips? Because that sounds actually really neat. If I could do that, why am I not doing that? Like, I should be doing that. But in reality, then everyone could do it. And then this basically we'd all be bankrupt and none of these student organizations would be free. And this is the first time that we funded it. So I don't really understand why we put $10,000 towards an academic program. And I think that's just this was a one-time exception that happened. It was during COVID, and that's probably why they asked for it, but we can't continue to fund it. And now we're making rules for why we shouldn't, because one of these things is not like the other, and that was it. We can't use student activities fees to fund something that's not going towards students. I mean, technically it's going towards students like that are in it, but the amount of money per student, like not even what's it called? ELT gets that much funding per student. It's pretty much, if there's 8 students getting basically an entire's worth of like, $10,000 worth, that's really not a great use of our funds. And that's not how it should be used, especially when students can't even, take part in it unless they're already paying. That's what's tuition for if it's not to pay for those academic resources. So that's what we're going to be discussing in the SAB, along with some other rules, which we're not quite sure yet, I'm sure. But I just want to see what the group says before we really, jump into it. So that's kind of what that discussion is going to be. I'll stop sharing here. The other things to talk about is, so that's pretty much it for the SAB. Any questions at this point? Okay, seeing none, I'll just say that there'll be a bigger discussion about this at a later time. And I did see Annette. I saw it later after I already said, so don't worry. Annette, what's up?
I'm just wondering when SAB decides on what the rules are going to be as far as the budget, does that come to us for final approval?
Yes, it does. So the process is that it goes through SAB, they agree, then it has to be approved by Student Senate, then it has to be approved by the college president, then it has to be approved by the district board. There's several layers of it that need to make sense first. And that's probably why there's the executive vice president, someone from the college cabinet is on the SAB, so they understand what's happening. So every step of the way, they know what's going to happen with the student activities fee, because it does affect all those things. Like, the ways in which our student programs are funded, that's going to make a big difference about how, student life comes to campus and like attracting students to campus. And therefore, like, who wants to come to our campus versus another, instead of just doing online, because why don't you just do online? Well, because we have a lot of activities that you can learn about. We learn things in Student Senate. We learn things by Volunteer Center. We learn things by Clarion, like writing newspaper, stuff like that. So there's so many ways to learn other than just like through your academic classes. Clubs matter too. That's how you make friends and those connections, because it's not what you know to although you should know some things too. But that's kind of it. But we kind of get it. So yeah, we're good. There'll be a discussion later on this. So if that's it, then we can move on. Thank you. Oops. We move on to Textbook Affordability Committee. Senator Sierra Brunner. Do you got anything for us? I don't think that they've met this summer.
No report.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So one thing I'll let you know, this is my report to you. I think I'm going to try to meet with them next week and just tell them about our, Spanish language textbook idea. I had an idea that what if for the expensive ones, like for Spanish and for math, instead of just having everyone pay $7 per, maybe it should be like an upgraded scale. If you have a class that's worth 4 or 5 credits, maybe the people that are in like 4 credit class should pay up to $7 for the 3 credit one, and then it goes up to like $12 for your 4th credit, and then maybe like $18 for your 5th credit. So it ends up being overall like 7 is 21 plus 12 is like 33, and then plus the 18 is like, I don't know, 41, 51. So then $51 is still cheaper than your like $150 science textbook or math textbook. So like that's an idea. I have to see how it actually works, but we're gonna break down the finances and see if it actually would save people money. It's an idea, and that's what I'll be discussing with them next week. So I'm just letting everyone really know about this. So we'll once we have the numbers, we'll break it down for everyone.
That's a good idea, Kai.
Yeah, do you have a hand, Annette? Senator Crowder?
I thought that's how it worked already, to be honest. I thought it was
Everyone pays $7 per credit.
Okay. So
And that's why they don't fund, that's why math isn't included, and that's why Spanish isn't included, because they say, well, if they basically their books are so expensive that it would bankrupt the system. So instead of not including them, why don't we find a way to make it so they can contribute in a fair way? And not only will it be cheaper, but then like overall people will pay less. So that's what I'm hoping to come out with. And I don't know what the numbers are going to be. I just threw out some random ones. So it might cover the costs of it if we do it that way. Because $18 is more than double the amount of $7. So if it works out math wise, like this could be really good. Oh, Pang, I didn't know you were here the whole time. Sorry to subject you to all this random policies, but so yeah, we'll let everyone know as things are going on. Thank you, Pang, and let's move on. Oh, one more question.
I was just gonna say, I guess I didn't know that was the case because I took a math class and for my math, wait, I did have to pay an extra fee for something, didn't I? Okay, I don't know. I will be quiet and wait to hear back the report on that. I just remember part of it being covered and part of it not. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're looking into it, so it's something you'll hear more about. On to you. It's perfect timing. Student Parent Support Group, Senator Crowder.
We have not met yet. We will meet the first week of August. And I think I had mentioned at the last meeting that I missed the July meeting.
Okay, perfect. We'll hear from you then. Inclusion Belonging Coordinator, I'm so sorry we did not update that with Layla, so I feel bad for that. Layla, I'm changing it right now. Oh, you did?
I updated it in the minutes.
Okay, but we didn't update it in the agenda, so I'm going to do that right now so that we don't make that mistake again. Sorry, Layla.
No worries. Thank you, though.
Do you have a report? We're supposed to meet next week whenever. When are you free for coffee? Is that Friday?
Next Friday. I will get back to you on that. I'm still not sure of my schedule. I'm so sorry. I will check it.
Oh, no worries. I put you on the spot, so like, just know that I'm gonna reach out to you. I'll probably text you and be like, "Okay, girly, when are we meeting for this?" And we'll get to know each other and talk about IBC.
Okay, perfect. I'll check that up right after this meeting and let everything know by that. Currently still no report since we're still getting all that meeting things in motion here, but once again, as we move into the fall, expect more from me.
Okay, perfect. Oops. I'm copying things over now, but we can move on to reports from regional and metro campuses. Reedsburg, Senator Stacy Brunner.
No report.
I know you practically had your report done for you since this was the regional reports meeting, so makes a lot of sense. Okay, we can move on to Watertown is vacant. Portage, Senator Crowder, anything for us?
No report.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, Fort Atkinson, Senator Dirk's not here. Goodman South, Senator Bissonnette, anything for us?
No report, but so when I do a report on Goodman South, the goal is for me to talk about events or things related to Goodman.
Yeah, like let's say, so one thing that happened last year is that Goodman South purchased the firehouse right next door for $1. And they're going to make a childcare center. Well, the city sold it to them for $1 because they wanted them to create more childcare solutions, especially on the south side where it's considered a childcare desert within the city of Madison. Yeah. So now people can go there. I mean, obviously it's first priority to students of Madison College, but the waiting list is so long that most people are coming from like north side and even like, east side all the way down to Goodman South just because that's the only option for childcare. So we're not even really using our community spots because we're just giving it to people who are students currently to try and make it easier for them to go. So like that would be a cool story. Also, you know, whenever I set up that meeting with a Goodman South person, maybe you should attend it. So maybe we should, like, the two of us, like, yeah, exactly, right? Because you can meet, like, you know, head honcho and meet, I think her name is Valentina. Is that correct? Is it Valentina?
Yep,
Yeah, she's the dean
Valentina
of Goodman
and
South.
And
Okay.
Freddie.
Yeah, okay. Well, whoever that lady is, you know, we can meet her and be like, yo, like, this is who you need to know, you know, Senator Sylvia Bissonnette. So I know, right? So, okay.
No reports.
Okay, perfect. We will move on. Moving on to reports from College Assembly and Shared Governance Councils. We're almost through, don't worry. College Assembly, President Brito. For a College Assembly, I won't be there for the Wednesday, August 7th meeting, but I might just give my report to Cole, so hopefully they can listen to it. But the big thing we're going to be discussing is the shared governance implementation team, where we're at. So some of the things that we're discussing is like structural issues, how it's set up. Currently, there are 7 councils, and they're all governed, or they're all like governed under the College Assembly, which reports to the president and makes recommendations. Some of the things that we've been considering, we want to keep most of the councils, but councils like DCRC, so Diversity and Community Relations Committee and Institutional Effectiveness, they felt like, you know, they don't have the most like sway that they wanted to have. So some things that we're considering is maybe we split up DCRC and Institutional Effectiveness to have like one person on each council. An idea that I actually like is, what if we passed all the policies to them, and then all of them could look and see, does this policy have an equity lens? Does this policy make our institution more effective? So that's one way. We don't know what we're doing quite yet, but do you have a meeting here next, or?
No.
Oh yeah, come in. Whoa, okay. Welcome. Huh? Well, no, we just don't get visitors very often, so yeah. We'll do an introduction after we just finish this here. Yep, and then just having a meeting with you know, cabinet members to have people, you know, collaborate together more. Maybe the chairs, the co-chairs of each of those meetings should just meet 15 minutes before the meetings just to stay on the same page about what's happening. So welcome to Senate. I'll lend to you my voice. What is your name, sir? What? Daniel Mayer. And what was your interest in coming to Senate today?
I'm starting here this fall, so just trying to join all the events before the semester starts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, you missed the most informative parts of it. We were talking about regional campuses today, but now we're just going through our standard reports, and you're about to learn what WSG is. So have you ever heard of that?
No.
Doubt it, but you're about to learn. So like, just stay tuned. This is like Magic School Bus. So okay, we're all about to hear. So fun stuff. Okay, moving on to it. So welcome, Daniel. So everyone say welcome, Daniel.
Welcome, Daniel.
I know, right? We're all online today. This is a different room than we're usually at, so this is why it's all kind of doinked up, but this is what we at. Yeah, thank you, Angel. Okay, moving on. Academic Council is vacant. Diversity and Community Relations Council, Senator Crowder. I think you already mentioned that you have a meeting at the beginning of August. Is that correct? Yep, so we're doing that. Facilities Planning Investment Council is currently vacant. I'll be meeting with Cody White soon. He's the facilities manager, and I'll have some updates for you. Also next week, our Executive Vice President, Dr. Tim Casper, is coming to talk about a $6 million investment into our building that's going to reconstruct our student center downstairs. So he'll have all of it. It's just 4 projects that are each worth $1.5 million. They've already been secured by grant funding, so we're not fundraising anymore. It's like, this is at this point going to happen. We should decide, is this how we want it to happen? Is there something missing out? So that's what we're going to have a discussion about. And then Cody White will come and talk to us about some other investments that are happening at the Madison College campus, just mainly the Child Care Development Center that's happening next door, because that's where that one's at. Moving on to Finance Council. At our last meeting, we had a big continued discussion about developing the 100% tuition refund drop deadline. And the things we're doing right now is, outside research on baseline comparisons. So UW program right now gives students 2 weeks to drop their classes and get 100% of the refund back. Madison College and all other technical colleges, you only get the day. And honestly, you have to drop before the class begins, before the day the class even begins. So we're just trying to see how other schools do it and see how we can model that, because it's mandated by state statute. So we can make our recommendations to with our school, and we can see what we can change at our school. And then we can also make it to the WTCS and the state legislature. Honestly, in February, we'll have the capacity to make our case to the state legislature and see if maybe things will change, if they'll listen to us in our educational pleas. But you'll learn more about that in the WSG presentation. But that is all for Finance Council. Moving on to Information Technology Council. Senator Avila, do you got anything for us? Okay, he's keeping us on the edge of our seats. So he said, we meet today, working on policy. So I did get an email about how we're getting an increase in phishing attacks. So if any of you looked at your emails, there's been a lot of those lately. They're trying to say, we have a new job for you. Apply now, reply back to our email. But really, those are like phishing attempts. Do not respond to them. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. And they're working on it right now. I talked to Corey, or what's this? Is it not Corey? Is it Corey? Yeah, it's Corey Christinger. Is that his name? Something like that. Anyways, I talked to him. He said they're working on it. But yeah, it's not just our school. Other schools are going through this too. So I don't know why they're attacking the educational system during the summer. But yeah, it's become an issue. So they're working on it. I don't know exactly what they're doing because it's not like my field. But maybe we can put Lando on the case since he's a computer guy. He can break it down for us. I just gave him homework since he's not here. So thanks for accepting that. Post more in the share file. Okay, yep. Yeah, Angel, upload that later. I know you're at work, so be aware. Okay, that's some good messaging there. Okay, moving on. Institutional Effectiveness Council is currently vacant, and that's one of the councils that's up for, like restructuring. So we'll see where that ends up going in the next month or two, I'm pretty sure. Student Affairs Council also vacant. That's actually one of the more important ones, and that's also up for restructuring, and they want to make it like an open forum where students can come and just like present their issues to see how we can change it. So they're not going to be working on any particular issues. We're going to be collecting issues to see like what is it that students want to change. So it'll be half like collecting issues and then half actually working on it. So that's an idea. We don't know how it's going to be set up, but.
Oh, is that part of that one thing where we choose our councils and what we want to focus on?
Yes. Yep. We didn't assign anyone to councils yet though, but you're about to hear about them. So. Okay. Yeah, so don't you worry. We got you set up, and I did send out everyone's assignments already, so you could have looked at it, but we are just going to go over it online. But yeah, stay on the edge of your seats with bated breath. Okay, moving on. Unfinished business review of attendance sheet. Do you want to pull that up, VP Tal? We'll just take a look at it. Oh, perfect. So we're just going to do an overview of like who turned in their hours and who didn't. And I was pretty generous. Some people didn't fill it out quite correctly. I filled it out for you because I thought, well, if people are willing to try, I'll help them out. So like, we're gonna just do a quick overview of how that's gonna be. So here's all our points. Some people didn't fill them in. Hassan is mostly because of office hours. So I think I need to talk to him because so some people get exceptions, and there is an exception for holy religious observances. And I think that might have been during a week, which was the religious observance of Eid, but I haven't been able to chat with him, mostly because I'm busy. So I'll check in with him. So he might get those erased based on, the religious observance. So I'll talk with him, but that's an example of things that can be, excused. Some other people have used those, religious observance excuses, or, if there's a death, like a bereavement, we have a bereavement policy. If someone dies, or if someone's getting married, a very happy event, because someone here did recently get married. So congrats to you. You got excused for that, and we didn't really count that against you because it's a very happy event. So good for you, mystery man who got married, who wasn't here last week. So I see you smiling now. It's Ibrima. So congratulations to him. He tied the knot, and that's good. But basically, yeah, that's where we're at. So you'll see there like who filled it out, who didn't. Mac actually resigned, so that's why he's not here anymore. But for the most part, people did their stuff and they showed up. If they did their hours and things like that. So if we didn't, you want to just go over it to the sheet 7.1, 7.14? Yep, so this is what people filled out. So if you want to scroll down, scroll down to the bottom. So Ibrahima, you asked for the wedding, so I'll excuse the hours too. I didn't notice we didn't do that, so that's my bad. But like, so for Sylvia, so the General Assembly meeting doesn't count towards it. You have to do things other than the meeting. I counted it this time because I was like, well, you tried. So I was like, like that's what we should do. So I didn't want to I didn't want to penalize you for trying, but this next time you have to do things in addition to.
Okay.
So yeah.
And, another question. So are we allowed to do, I know for me, since I'm not like president or anything, I have to fill like a half-hour mark. But
Mhm.
am I allowed to do like increments throughout the week?
Yeah.
What equals?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just 30 minutes of focused work. Yeah.
Okay.
So during the semester, officers have to hold office hours. You have to hold 1 office hour. It can be virtual, but it has to be like a consistent office hour. And if it's not consistent, as long as you talk to us, we can work, but you don't need to worry about it because you're just a general senator. So you don't need to worry about those office hours. But that's the only other thing where it's like uninterrupted time. But for the most part, like just do something for an hour and like you're probably set. So yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and reading over like the agenda and any other things like the bylaws, any of the training that we ask you to do, that counts for it too. So it's just a way for us to track what have we been doing throughout the year.
Okay.
So yep. So yeah, if you just want to scroll, yep, bylaws, you can read through that. But please really do read the bylaws because not gonna lie, if you say you read the bylaws for 30 minutes, I don't think I'll believe you because I'm not really sure what you would need to read the bylaws for 30 minutes for. So mostly if you want to read the bylaws, you kind of have to have something out of it. Like maybe you read the bylaws to inform you of writing something because it is long, but no one reads the bylaws like from front to back, like because you just don't. Even I don't do that, and I'm kind of a policy nerd. So you kind of take what you need from it and then you go. But yes, and Maggie's right. Meeting with another senator is a perfect way to get your hours. Talk to someone for 30 minutes. Boom, like you're pretty set on that. So honestly, some of these people you get along with, you can talk for a whole hour, maybe 2. Who knows? But the goal is to meet a lot of people. So try not to meet with just one person for 2 hours. Try to split it to at least 2 people for 2 hours. And maybe if you really, really want to be super up, you can meet with 4 people for 30 minutes and maximize that. But that's pretty much it. Do you have anything to add, Yilong?
Just one thing that you update the new sheet and if someone put information in and it is not containing this like current new sheet, please remember to update your.
Oh, yes. When I put the new sheet in, I think Yilong said that I may have deleted some people's stuff. So if I did, please double check because I don't think I did, but I might have done that. So apologies if I did, and that's actually to Lando. I think that might be the one I accidentally deleted. So sorry to you for doing that. My apologies. But he's not here, so I guess he doesn't know about it. So I'll just text him and tell him I deleted your hours. Do them again. No, I'll tell him to put them in again, or maybe I'll ask him, but I'll say I'm sorry and that president made a mistake, and so yeah, we did an oopsie daisies here. But yep. So people make mistakes, and it's not hard. Just tell people, own them up, and then we'll change it. But anything else from anyone? No questions. Well, thank you, Senator Ju, for sharing the ways to do it. I think that meeting with other senators is one of the best ways to get office hours. Okay, moving on. For our advisor, Kelly Ocratel, if you want to just go over our assignments. I sent that over in the email if you want to do that, or you can pull up the Word spreadsheet in the SharePoint. Okay.
All right, everybody, I'm going to defer. If you have questions or anything, please put them in the chat so that President Brito can see them, as I cannot see at the moment. But yes, so oh yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out here it is. I don't know how to.
Perfect.
Good?
See it, yep.
Okay. So as was stated before, we're briefly going to cover this, is that we did ask that you please complete the form that was sent to you to collect more specifically your committee choices, and we asked for a few if possible, and we still did have the shared governance councils on that for selection. We aren't placing shared governance councils at this time, as been stated before, and to yield to redundancy, that they are in flux at the moment. So once we do know what councils are there, we will collect that information from you all. And if it's the same, just put the same thing down, and we will get you onto those shared governance councils. But everybody is required to be on one standing committee. And so if you provided me one choice for standing committee, and it was first come, first serve, and somebody else had gotten to that first, we had to go with where we saw was best fit, but also provide the greatest opportunity for personal and professional development, as that is one of the major parts of Senate, is to focus on what can you take with this into the future and how can we best support the opportunities for Senate, but the opportunities for yourself. So as we can see here, just to work quick in order. So for Finance and Administration, that is chaired by VP Tao. And again, going off of what we had available within Executive Council, as we were all present to review it, Senator Dirks, Senator Salifu.
Not the lead senator, it should be VP, that's my bad. I wrote that, so.
Sorry, VP Salifu and President Brito will serve on that committee. Now, I do want it to be known, I'll speak for myself, President Brito can speak if you would like to. There may be a time in which I will pop into some of these meetings just to see kind of what is going on, because I don't believe I can best serve you all as your advisor if I am not able to be present, and just learning about what's going on, because that's literally all I want to do, is be a fly on the wall to understand, what's going on. If you have questions, I'd be happy to help you. I will yield to President Brito into the future if you would like to make a comment with that as well. For the Rules Committee, that is two chairs. That is, the primary chair is VP Hashmi. It is co-chaired by Senator Wilkin. Senator Wilkin is also our Lieutenant Governor for WSG, and so he'll assist with that. Senator Avila and Senator Juf will also serve on the Rules Committee. The Legislation Committee will most likely be tied into that unless we identify enough folks that are looking to do something that's separate, as the Legislation and Rules Committee tend to be combined just due to representation. Team Development is chaired by VP Salifu. And then the individuals part of it are Senator Crowder, Senator Kamara, and Senator Sierra Brunner. Lastly, for the Public Relations, it is chaired by VP Magosha, Senator Bissonnette, Senator Jacobson, and Senator Stacey Brunner will serve on those committees. VP Magosha will serve as our representative for textbook affordability. And then additional areas of involvement, as I stated. Representative for SAB is VP Tao. Our alternate representative for SAB is Senator Lando Dirks. Our governor representative for WSG is VP Hashmi. And as I stated, our lieutenant governor for WSG is Senator Wilkin. The areas below it, as I said, I'm just going to show because it's present. We have not placed anybody here yet in terms of the shared governance councils, but I will let you all know, and I will say this very directly. Once we know they are solidified, the day after we can confirm they are solidified, you will hear from me. We will get that form out to you, and it'll be the same thing. First come, first serve. Executive Council will then sit down and place individuals. I do want to make one statement when it comes to shared governance councils. I have received some input that Senate representation at shared governance councils may have not been always the most well attended. And so I'm going to put it to you all that if once you identify the shared governance council you want to serve on, it must become a priority of yours as a senator or as an executive to attend these meetings and represent Student Senate, as this is one of the main ways that we can amplify the student voice and provide for greater student empowerment and student experience. So whether it's college assembly all the way down to student affairs, it does not matter. We have to be there. We need to be present. And if we need to make changes, we can do so as long as there's effective communication. If we need to move folks around, that is also fine. But I want our priority to be you're choosing these and we want you to be present at them and be effective with them.
Before she answers, I just want to add something. So for the alternative representative for SAB, the person who was selected also has to be on the Finance Council because they're so interrelated. So I just wanted to make that point. Same thing for the Lieutenant Governor of WSG. They have to be on the Rules/Legislative Affairs because they're going to work on both of those things. And then the last thing is that whoever's on the College Assembly and whoever's on Finance, you'll be serving alongside me because I'm a student representative for Finance, and then I'm a student representative for College Assembly, so I will be after this comes up, unless there's no one filling in, because I just think we have the ability to send 2 people to each of those, and technically we have the ability to send 2 people to diversity and community relations, because it's Layla's on there by default as the IBC, and then someone else can join diversity and community relations just as like their own personal interest. So we'll be assigning those people there. So you can have, in some instances, have multiple people. Last year, we could have had multiple people on facilities and planning because they had a co-chair. The co-chair was also serving as like in Senate, which is like a pretty big role to be a co-chair of one of those meetings. So like we could actually technically at that point have another person on it. But yeah, so there can be multiple people on DCRC, College Assembly, and Finance at this moment. I think even student affairs technically, but I'll have to get back to people on that, where it's going. But yep, that's what it is. Back to Cole.
Senator Crowder.
Oh, right.
Oh, I threw my message and my question in the chat. I'm sorry. I thought I took my hand down, but it was, what the heck was my question? Isn't it sad? It was when the committees come out that are still standing, can we also get the times for those meetings right away if they're available?
So you're asking.
That way, I hopefully don't choose a meeting that is scheduled during my classes or something.
Sure. You're specifically talking about the shared governance councils or the standing committees?
The shared governance council.
Yes, once all that information is available, I will make it available to you all when we do the selection so that everybody has access to that. Good question.
And sometimes too, like the committees will take into account that the students are joining. So they might just even send out a survey and say like, oh, like when are you free? So they might just, move it around your schedule anyways. So that's a possibility. They all kind of operate differently. It's not consistent exactly. So they're all kind of their own little entity.
Anything else for me? Seeing none, if you decide that you would like to have a conversation about where you were placed, please reach out to me directly. We can have that conversation. And if need be, I will loop in the executive council as well. But again, we went with what was available to us, first come, first serve, and we had to go with where we thought was best fit if we did not have multiple choices from everybody. So with that, I will stop sharing.
And then I'm going to ask you to share again because we're moving on to the WSG presentation. I'm going to try and make it quick. We're going to try to speed run it. Annette, I'm going to ask for your support during this because you're a WSG baddie, being one of the girly officers up with us. So we're going to make sure I wore my bracelet today that we made together on Tuesday. So we did friendship bracelet making on Tuesday. So that's what WSG is really all about. Not really, we do policy stuff too, but we also have some time to make bracelets of friendship. Do you have the presentation?
Well,
it's also in SharePoint. Yeah, the one in SharePoint's updated. The one I sent you is like, there's a small edit, but if you got it, that's fine. I'll just point it out when we get to it. So whichever one you can get to faster. Okay. Yep, this is me. Oh, this says, so that's the update. It says WSG Officer Training Day because I used the same formatting. This is an intro to WSG. That's the only thing, but all the photos are right. I just forgot to change the title. But here we are. Here's me and Annette. There's Maggie too. Angel's there as well. This fellow over here is Michael Malone, former senator, but he's no longer with us. Just moving on to different things, getting jobs after work or after college. So that's what it is. But basically WSG, let's move on to the next slide. So what is it? So in this interview, you'll see there's a lot of different students that are there. These are the officers last year, and you're going to learn about who our speaker is. But we're just going to go over what the organization is, what are the outcomes you'll get as a student, what is the meeting schedule, what is the legislative seminar, what is the legislative priorities, what is the position paper, and if you have any questions. A lot of things that don't sound like they make a lot of sense right now, but they will, I promise. Let's just move on. Yep, next slide, please. Yep, I'll say that next time. Again, you'll see here are the 5 officers. So that's me. I'm serving as president of WSG. So double pres here. Woohoo! There's Liz Cummins from Mid-State. There's Annette Crowder, also from Madison College. That's Chaz Drayler from Moraine Park, and then that's Caitlin Abbott from Nicolet College. These are all colleges from the 16 technical colleges across Wisconsin, and that's what WSG is. It's a meeting of the 16 technical college all across Wisconsin. The students meet and like get to know each other. Our goal is to represent, promote, advocate, and protect the interests of technical college students, establish positive relationships with state legislators, and just garner support within the WTCS. The WTCS, Wisconsin Technical College System, is the overarching umbrella that everything falls under. Just like how Madison College, like we're all under Madison College, like Student Senate, like all the groups are technically under us because we manage a volunteer center, we manage athletics, we manage, performing arts leadership, we manage all those things. So it's kind of like that. You go up the level too, even the WTCS is at the top, and all the different technical colleges like Blackhawk Technical College, like Madison College, like Nicolet, Moraine Park, Western, Northeast Wisconsin, all the rest of the 16, those fall under the WTCS. So we just meet up with students and we try and say, what policies can we promote to make our lives better? So let's next slide, please. So this is what we're trying to do. So here you'll see me and Kodiak Kessel, a former senator from last year. We're meeting with Representative Dave Murphy to talk about financial aid reform. Last year, they passed a bill to make, it's the Financial Aid Modernization Act. We said that this is something that we really believe in, and that we should update the policies to be more in line with the state of how it is with national, and just increase financial aid. This year, they did pass it, but it didn't really implement well. But the upcoming this year, it should be easier, and there should be more financial aid addressed for more students. So that's one thing that who knows how much of a part that, 2 students from Madison College really had in it. But we wrote an article and it did get shared at the state level. So like something happened, maybe we weren't the deciding factor, but it was kind of nice to kind of be part of the conversation. So the goal is that we do share ideas for growth and development. And then you'll develop leadership and team building because we work with each other and we talk about actual policies that could be influenced at the state level. And we're going to be talking to legislators at the Capitol, our own legislator, and maybe some people from other areas. So that's kind of what we're doing. And we're going to strategize for how we can take specific policies and make things better. So next slide. So this is the meeting schedule. So our first meeting, it's the big one. It's like a big team building event. We're trying to make it really fun and engaging for you all. And word on the street is that there may be whitewater rafting. So if you want to come to that, it's at Nicolet College in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. We're going to do the whole Wisconsin thing here. If this is Wisconsin, it's right about here, like this part of the middle finger, that far up north. I would qualify that as up north. So that's in Rhinelander County, and pretty far up. It's in the North Woods, and you get to see the Wisconsin North Woods. You can check it out. But that's Friday, October 4th and Saturday, October 5th. So just so people can like plan accordingly, you can check out the meeting schedule. Friday, November 8th, I actually won't be there for that meeting. I'll be at an accounting conference in Chicago. But that's at Moraine Park in Fond du Lac. I'll train everyone up. Don't you worry. Annette will know exactly what's going on. And our fearless vice president, Liz Cummins, will be taking over as president that day. So we'll all be coordinated for that one. And I'm pretty sure that everything that I set up for that meeting, y'all be set on because, I try to dot my T's and cross my I's for that stuff. January 10th, North Central Tech in Wausau. That'll be a big discussion about the legislative seminar, which we'll cover next. Sunday, February 16th. Tuesday, February 18th. That is at the Madison Concourse Hotel. We won't be staying there ourselves, but you can make friends with people from the other technical college, and we'll come to that hotel and for our meetings, for meals, and to strategize last minute about how we're going to talk to legislators. So it all makes sense in the next slide when you get it, but don't change yet. March is a potential virtual meeting that's optional. It's not an official WSG meeting. We're trying to set that up. We may or may not have that. I'm still pushing for it. So I think it'll be good to just meet another time. And we'll have to pick a time that we'll have to look at everyone's school schedules and see where like spring break meets up, and whenever the most people are free and they're most willing to go, then we'll have to plan it there. But then there's the last one's April 25th. Those are basically elections and any last year updates, any legislative things that happen, because before we go into the summer lame duck session. So you can make some actual change happen here. And that's kind of what we're trying to plan to do with WSG. Go to the next slide. please. And this is our legislative seminar. We had a really nice speaker. So it's a 3-day meeting going over Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Tuesday is the day where we speak to legislators. But the first day on Sunday, we have like a standard assembly, just like our student senate. We're going to have topics of business for discussion. It could be anything related to finance or a bylaws change, or just, how we plan to do something. But there'll be speakers from the WTCS. Again, that's the Wisconsin Technical College System. And we had a keynote speaker last year, Ziggy Odegon-Williams. She is a badass soccer player, swearing, fitness trainer, motivational speaker person. She came in and she had a 100% approval rate from all the students. It's really hard these days. You look in the news, who has 100% approval rate? No one. She got that. She got 100% approval rating. She had 69% strongly approve her like forever. And that's a great number. But then we had 100 say that they agreed that she had like an impact and they wanted her back. So 100% people wanted her back. So we are going to increase her speaker fee probably, and then invite her back. And she's going to probably bring a video camera, and we might even have a fitness training with her, because she'll yell at you. I went to her birthday training. She yelled at me to become more fit. So, and I think it worked. So hopefully I'm more fit now because of her. We'll have a legislator visit. So we're going to invite a legislator to come to us. Word on the street is that perhaps a certain lieutenant governor might be free to come to us, but those are preliminary discussions and anything can happen. But maybe we'll be able to get a lieutenant governor, perhaps former or current, to come to our meeting. So those are things to think about. If you ever wanted to meet a really high political figure, that could be the person. We're going to talk about legislative priorities. That's on the next slide, but we won't go there yet. Lobby games. If you've heard of lobbying, you don't know what it is, you're about to learn. Lobby games just basically teach you you're going to break up with teams of people, and you're going to think about and strategize, how do you make an issue heard? And with our position paper, that'll really help you. Again, you just get to network with people, and it's also at the end of the year, we're going to pass out awards for people, and just for your participation and dedication to the organization. And also gives you a chance to meet your legislators. And as you'll see as we go throughout the presentation, we met a lot of different people, and we'll just go to the next slide. So here you'll see all of us here. We're meeting with Representative Samba Balda. So Maggie actually has a personal connection with him, and he actually used to attend Madison College. So one of the things that we're going to do is ask him if he'd like to present to us, because he used to go here, and this was kind of the foundations for how he, honestly became a senator. Without coming here, he, might not be able to do that, but he, credits a lot of it. He really values technical college education. So I think it'd be really easy to get him to come here. He even reached out to us and asked if he could present. So we just need to find a time for him. So when we get to that moment, we'll email him and then, offer that. So yeah. And we didn't just meet him. We also met Senator Chris Larson. Is that his name? Yeah, Chris Larson. We met Representative Rebecca Kleefish, something like that. That sounds right. I can't remember. And then we met with another senator or representative, and I don't remember her name. Sheila Stubbs. There we go. So I got all of them. So I listened. But our legislative priorities last year were to talk about childcare. So I'll just read it out loud for you. Wisconsin's workforce is the backbone of the economy. To ensure this foundation remains strong, we must provide parents with access to affordable and reliable childcare. This support can be life-changing for parents who are also pursuing their education, can help them excel in their studies, achieve their goals, and build a brighter future for themselves and their families. By investing in accessible childcare, we're investing in our state's future. If you really like the way it's written, Annette wrote that. Well, she edited my stuff, but it sounds nice because of Annette. So thanks, Annette. And then again, equalizing Wisconsin grants funding. The Wisconsin Grants Program has been a boon for our colleges, enabling us to keep our fees affordable through need-based financial assistance to students. By providing industry-aligned technical education to these students, we are investing in the workforce education of Wisconsin. And then we just kind of said, thank you for doing that to us. If you go to the next slide, this is the visual aid that I created. So, Annette did the words, I did the pictures. So, I just arranged everything in a pretty way. We had this poster with us. We printed it out on glossy paper, all of us, all of the students of the technical colleges. That's like 200 people across 16 different technical colleges brought these papers to their legislators in their offices and said, here's the stats on childcare. And this is why we need to improve childcare in the state. This is a childcare desert. 54% of Wisconsin's a childcare desert. And that's a problem for people that want to advance themselves into like a better life. How can you take care of your kids when there's no childcare? You can't go to school. How do you have the time to do that? Because at some point it's just not realistic. If it's not realistic, then how are we going to technical colleges? 91%, right? Exactly. 91% of people that go graduate from technical colleges stay in the state. So, you know, when you invest in technical colleges, you're investing in Wisconsin. So that's the line that we loved to use last year. So I do love that line. But last year too, you can see the difference. If you want to zoom in, is it possible to zoom in on the slide? It's fine if you can't. You'll see on the graph there's a blue chart, and that the blue is bigger than the red and the green. That's the percent of unmet aid. So students that really need aid to go to technical colleges, 50% of them are not getting it, but then like apparently all the students that are going to UW and to private schools are getting more aid than technical college students are. But it costs less for us. You'll see in the graph there on the bottom left, it costs way less, $4,000 compared to the 5,000, 9,000, and like, what is that, 30 something thousand? Is it 30 or 40,000? Okay, it's 33,000. It's been a while since I've looked at these graphs, but you know, it's like it costs 33,000 to go to a private school, but then it's like the people that are paying $4,000, they're only getting half of that. You only give them $2,000. Like, how much of a difference would it make? People go to technical colleges because it's cheap. So if you help them out and they're staying in Wisconsin, you're really just investing in the rest of the economy, because they can go get a job that'll actually, you know, make things better for their lives and take care of themselves and their families. That's what it's really for. Anyways, we put together this just to help us, advocate for it. And this year is the year that Wisconsin technical colleges are asking for more money. We asked for childcare money. We're asking for $10 million to support our childcare development in the next biennium. We're asking for 20 million and 25 million for general aid requests to, just to support education in general. We're asking for 50 million in Wisconsin grants funding. We don't think we're going to get 50 million, but if we got even 10 million, that would honestly be a lot better than we currently at. Last year, we got 3 million and we got 6 million total. It went to 3 million and 3 million in that biennium because the budget's a 2-year thing. But like, this is the kind of thing. You think that, this is the kind of, like, you go to school and you just kind of get your degree and you leave, or you can, be a representative of technical college and try to make that difference. And you probably won't feel a difference. I'll be honest to you. But if you're going a second year, or if you're, have, friends or even family members that are going to go to technical colleges, or even parents, sometimes your parents go to it, it'll be better for them. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make our lives and the lives of our people we care about a lot better. Let's go to the next slide. So that was a lot of it. You'll see our friendship bracelets there. And you also see that we invited our own state representative, Francesca Hong, and Chief of Staff Nada El-Makashfi. If you never believed that networking worked, can anyone, I don't know if anyone wants to guess how I met them, because I met them really randomly. Does anyone have a guess? You can throw out random ideas. Not at school. Cole, you got a guess? No? Yilong, do you have any guess?
Party?
I met them at a random wedding. I met Nada at a wedding and I was just chatting with her, and she's like, oh, she made a comment about Democrats. I'm like, oh, like, where are you politically? And then she's like, oh, do you want to guess? I'm like, I don't know. I'm guessing like you're probably liberal, like most people that are, our age. And she's like, oh, well, I actually work for the legislature. I'm like, what? That's kind of crazy. So I met not only her, and then through her, I met the mayor. The mayor was at the wedding, who actually came and did like a declaration. She declared the wedding the Matronomicon. It was a really weird wedding. So people had interesting ideas about marriage, and it was like the Necronomicon plus matrimony. So they were just really into weird stuff, and they combined the two. And then she declared that day the Necronomicon Day, or Matronomicon Day, as the marriage of the two people that were getting married that day. So it's kind of funny that the city of Madison has an official, proclamation about that day. It's really random, but here we are. And that's how I met Francesca Hong, who also used to own a ramen shop. So I try to get everyone to go eat ramen at her shop too. So I've been there, and I don't think anyone else could make it, but it's really good ramen. So she knows how to cook a good meal. So that's it at all. Does anyone have questions in the next, few minutes here? Because we're almost done.
Where's the ramen shop located?
Oh, Annette, you want to talk?
I was just wondering where the ramen shop is located.
It used to be on King Street, but it closed. We can talk later. There's some tea.
Oh my gosh, was it Morris? I left that place.
It was Morris. Yes, Morris Ramen. Do you know why it closed? I know why it closed.
No, I don't know the drama, but I was devastated that they closed.
Yeah, that sucks. It was really good food. I used to work at Short Stack, and like a lot of our workers would hang out together. So that's unfortunate, but I can share the drama some other time. Anyone else have any questions, or does Annette want to add? Like, are people interested, like, to go to Rhinelander? Because like that's coming on Friday, October 4th. You can go up north and, you know, go whitewater rafting with us. Check out a Hodag. Too far?
No, the
Do you work?
whitewater.
I'm actually part of the
You can
official.
opt out. It's not required. Like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
it might be fun though. Like, have you ever done that?
No.
Do you want to?
I don't know. I'm scared.
It's not so whitewater. Cole, you've been up north, right? It's not like it's not like a super, yeah.
Okay.
It's a little cold.
All right.
If you're in my boat, I
Yeah.
promise you'll tip over.
I
It's more fun
just
that way.
learned how to swim. I can't take any risks. I just learned how to swim.
Oh, Melina, go.
Oh no, I was just saying that I just learned how to swim, so I can't take any risks at this time.
That's fair. I had to offer.
Ice jackets.
Well, a
can't-
lot of people, there's a lot of fun stuff here. As you saw, if you have any interest in meeting politicians or having a career of that type, we will talk about like actual policies, actual bills that are getting passed. And we can actually affect those things, especially in this year when the budget's getting passed. So we can go present to the Joint Finance Committee of the state and say, we believe in these legislative priorities. And I'm actually already working with the WTCS on some statements that we could say. So if you're at all interested in, you know, attaching yourselves to that issue, or maybe even other issues, we can talk about how you can testify, although you have to wait a bit. So it's kind of hard to do as a student, but like, if you really want to, like, let's talk, because that's what we're all about. Yeah, Annette?
If I remember correctly, I think don't all of the colleges get assigned to help out with something at the before we do the legislator? So we should I don't know, people might want to start thinking about what they want to be, what our college wants to be involved in. I know in the past we've done lobby games, from what I understand. That was prior to my time. And then we did the position paper and this last time, and I thought it was pretty awesome to do the position paper. So, but that was just me.
Yeah, and I think we're probably doing the position paper again this year because, I don't know, makes sense, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk to Hassan. So really, this is like, you know, it's the people leading this are going to be me, Annette, Hassan, and Cameron, because me and Annette are like officers, and then Cameron and Hassan will be the voting members. So we'll be leading the charge, and hopefully y'all can come with us and you can see what it is that we do. The first one to come to, the Rhinelander one, if you only come to one, come to that one. That'll be the fun one. We do things other than whitewater rafting. That's a challenge by choice. You can sit out and just, you know, have a campfire s'more, because there are campfires out there. It's a very beautiful campus, because that's what the Northwoods is like. You've been there? Yeah, Northwoods. It's really beautiful. So if you want to see it, it's during the fall too. So you're going to see the pretty fall colors. It'll be a little brisk, but Wisconsin has layers. So that's all I got for you. Yeah, and I'll talk to you all again about it later at another time. So, oh, and if we just want to do a quick survey together. So Cole, pull it up.
All right, so we are asking to collect your availability. As we have talked previously, we are we definitely are going to host a team development day for Senate. And so we are wanting to collect your availability. So please take the next minute or so.
Can you put the link in the chat?
I just did.
Oh, perf.
Link is in the chat. Please select all available dates that you can attend. And if you cannot attend any, we are asking, it may not change much, but we are asking that if you can give us a day that you are available in the relative near future, or around those dates that we provided, that you could be available for the team development. That would be great. But please, everyone, take a moment. Please fill this out. It should take you no more than 40 seconds. And then from there, we will go to the end of the agenda. So I'll be quiet, 40 seconds, go.
I just submitted mine. It really was very quick. You just check some boxes and see if it works for you. But yeah, just click the link and do it. And then Cole, is there a way to check responses?
It takes a minute, but yeah, I can pull up responses. So I'll pull up responses tonight, and then I can do outreach because it does collect their.
Okay, if you're done, raise your hand on it. You can raise your hand on the thing, or you can just physically do it. I'll do both, but yeah, I did it. I did the survey. So let's see if we can get everyone to do it.
I raised my hand.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, Melina, yes, I saw that. Perfect. Did everyone hear it? Like, Nohaya, did you get that? Maggie, did you get that? Layla, are you on it?
Yep, just
That's
submitted.
good. Perfect. Hey, we love that. Okay, we're getting people in. Yeah, people might have to check their calendars. I understand that. Ibrima, you're not getting married again, are you? Just kidding. And if you don't know yet, I do know that Hassan, I think he's free on the early days and maybe not the second ones, but we'll ask him. And I think Lando's free on all of them, from my understanding, since I talked to both of them. But Nohaya, are you there? Nohaya. So I will say the quicker we can go through it all, the faster we can move on and be done with it too. There's your motivation right there. Okay. So wait, yes, Layla, thank you. Yeah, Angel, can you hear us? Are you looking at your calendar, or I just want to make sure, like, Ibrima, are you there, like, looking at your calendar and stuff? Maggie, and thank you to everyone that did it. I do know some people are looking. Yeah, I saw Sylvia, you looking at your calendar. Okay, that's a good amount of people. We love that. Okay. Wait, Nohaya, Maggie, you there? Don't make me call you right now. I'm texting right now. Okay, Angel, I just want one more person to at least say where you're at. For the people that don't have their mics on and don't have their cameras on, can you say where you're at?
Just one of those nights, I guess.
Okay. Oh, perfect. We love that. Okay. And then it's just Maggie Nohaya. Okay, I'm at the point where I'm gonna call some person. We're literally calling someone right now. Okay, I just want one more and then we can end this meeting. Perfect. We have 2 minutes. Everyone spam your 2 senators that are not responding. Okay, 1 more minute and we'll just give up. But we got a lot of people. So thank you to those of you that did. To be honest, we still need Hassan and Lando to submit that. So and then I don't know if Wistria is still here, but yeah, we can ask Wistria about that. But generally, we have a lot of people, so that is good. But yeah, we'll follow up on those delinquents that didn't haven't filled it out. So thank you to everyone that did. And I think at this point, we'll just quick say our next meeting will be Thursday, August 8th in room C2402 at 4:30. We'll be back in our usual room. Lesson 7 on the Blackboard course is advocacy and outreach, and there is no sticking around for lesson number 6. You had a big hand raise, Annette, over there.
Yeah, I'm wondering, the student life leadership meeting, is that scheduled? Do we have a date for it yet?
We'll talk to Ellie about that. Cole, I think you'll be part of planning that, but if Ellie hasn't talked to you, I bet she's focused on, Ellie probably is focused on Wolfpack. So yes, we'll talk to Ellie, so I think Cole will follow up with her. Cole, do you have?
Yeah, you mute yourself.
Yep.
Annette, are you referencing the student life student leadership retreat? Is that what you're mentioning? Yes. So we do have, we have everything almost set. It's 98% done. What I have to figure out is catering and presenters. But that is, say it one more time.
Do you have the date for it?
I don't want to release it yet because if catering boots me, then I have to do a different date, but it's going to be end of September-ish because we do align it with an SAB meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not in August. It's going to be in September this time because of how stuff is falling, as well as the NSLS stuff. So that's a topic of conversation I'm having with Student Life next week to get everything set. And once that's done, everyone's going to be notified. But end of September, probably like the last third of September.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we got as far as we could. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Oh, so moved so quick. Okay, Senator Bissonnette and then Senator Crowder is the second. We're going to do a vote by unanimous approval. Anyone's opposed, we'll just, if no one's opposed, then we'll go for it. Seeing no one opposed in 3, seeing no one opposed in 2, seeing no one opposed in 1. Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:32 p.m. Thank you everyone for sticking around. We got a lot done today. The immediate